Finally, Katt Williams has returned to Netflix for a new comedy special called World War III. This marks the first time Katt has returned to stand-up since his 2018 special, Great America. In his new era of material, Katt talks about conspiracy theories, the COVID vaccine, and the differences between the old president Donald Trump and the current one, Joe Biden. Katt Williams is a comedian who has never been afraid to use his tongue, and in his latest special is a great case as to why his voice has been missed these last 4 years. Today we have our comedy hype analysts, Vanessa Fraction and Pierre, calling in to give their reaction. Now, before I dive into our reaction, I just want to read the quote from Katt's special, just in case for the people who have not seen it. "We traded in a crazy, deranged, erratic MFer. We traded him in for a weekend at Bernie's. I'm so sick of MFers talking about Joe Biden. What the F wrong with you people? Joe Biden is 96, mother effing years old. You gave great granddaddy the job. Give him a break. If you're lucky enough to have great granddaddy call him up right now and ask him if he's ready to do 12 press conferences tomorrow. Joe be doing the best he can." Pierre, I want to start with you. When you first saw this, what was your reaction to the joke?
I did see the clip. I thought it was funny. You know, I'm a huge Katt Williams fan, so I'm happy that he's back. But just because we vote somebody in, we still want to see some progress and see some change. So we gonna complain. We voted for him, and let me see what you're gonna do. You did. Some people don't feel like he's done anything so far. I don't know how intense people are looking into his presidency. So people complain like, "Oh, you ain't doing nothing." Do you know anything he's working on? Have you looked at anything? If you don't look at anything and really study him, then what are you yelling about, man? You're just yelling for what? So it's up to us too to look and see what he's been up to and doing, and if it doesn't side with us, then speak your voice.
Vanessa, I'll bring that same question to you. What was your reaction when you first saw this joke or that clip of the joke?
Oh, I knew where he was going. A lot of comics have jokes about how old Joe Biden is and why he's in there and what he can do. And, I giggle at Katt. I love his, I'm more so like his physicalities and stuff like that. It's quite silly, but also making points. You elected great granddaddy to do a job. My great granddaddy wouldn't have tried to get the job, so that was on Joe for trying to get the job, knowing it was 12 press conferences the next day that he would have to do. But I'm always down for, and I look for some of that new blood that's coming in politically and stuff like that to go ahead and usher in some change. Joe Biden's been a politician for forever, you know what I mean? So I don't know how much shaking up we really thought that he was going to do. So I do look forward to some of the new blood that's coming in and to really see some true change. Because Joe could have been did something.
Absolutely. No, I think, and a lot of people will agree with you both. Pierre, I want to come back to you and ask you this. Knowing what we know now, just from, like you said, I know there's some details that a lot of people don't do research on, but I think one of the prominent ones that a lot of people are upset with, and I'll just give an example, is like, student loans. He said he was going to get rid of student loans, and we kind of haven't seen that. So knowing what we know now, do you think, we made the best decision, or some people made the best decision to remove Trump for Joe Biden?
Talking about getting rid of student loans. People have been having student loans for probably 100 years. And they ain't gotten rid of. So we blaming this old man for not getting rid of them. You know what I'm saying? So to me, what are we asking for, man? These presidents, you still got to do what you got to do yourself, with your own life. I get it. If you're waiting for the government to do something for you, the president to do something for you, you really might be waiting a long time. So yes, we expected more, and we always expect more from a presidency. There were people who expected more from Trump when he came in. You know what I'm saying? And the reason that Biden won because Trump was on some other shit that we wanted to get rid of at the time. Now we can look back and say, "Oh man, I wish he was back." But when he was in, he was hollering and screaming, "Get the hell out that racist ass mother! Get him out of there!" It's the same racist mother would still be in it. So if we're cool with that, the racist dude and all this crazy shit, then shut up next time you get a racist dude up in there. Shut your mouth, because you might get an old man next. So you know what I'm saying? And I'm saying for those who are mad at Biden and wish Trump was still in office. I remember when Trump was in office a couple years ago. Black folks were not too happy. We were not jumping up and down. We wanted him out no matter who came in and shit, okay? You could have ran for office simply and won with that smile and them beautiful lips, okay?
Oh my gosh. Well, let me ask you this, Pierre, and I want to bring up Pierre's panic room because I know you had Killer Mike as a guest. So I want to ask, because I know he brought up, he feels that a lot of people feel like, and he feels like at least we know what we were getting with Trump. He was so vocal and so open. So do you think that's why a lot of people are upset? Because it's like, looking back with Trump, I at least knew what I was getting compared to Joe Biden, who was kind of quiet.
Sure, sure. I totally understand that. But understand when the devil is there, you got to understand it's the devil. You know what I'm saying? Don't look for a change. Look for what you got. And you know, and Trump did a lot of stuff for black folks, you know, did a lot of stuff. But it's his personality that, you know, we didn't like, you know what I'm saying? And that was it. So understand, you know, if you have the quote unquote the devil or the racist in there who's doing stuff for you at times and he's still a racist, are you willing to change him next time for somebody who's a nice old man who thinks he's going to be cuddly and nice and not do nothing for you? So we'll be around enough for the next person. There's another president going to go up in the next 2 years. Let's see what we do about that.
Vanessa, I want to bring you in on this one. What do you think, you know, knowing what we know now and the facts that we do see on the forefront, do you think it was best to remove Trump for Joe Biden?
Oh, with my extensive political knowledge, I would like to say, of course, I think that that Trump should have been removed. I'm not saying for Joe Biden. I had my eyes on someone else actually, but you know, the behavior we're saying is just a personality thing, but it's not. You know what I mean? The behaviors are unsuitable for a president or anyone that's in leadership. So I'm very glad that he's not president anymore. If that's answering the question, I couldn't take the daily, you know, attention and bullshit that he was piping out, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. And it just made others in your community, even though, like you say, I'd like to know who you are and all this and that. Sometimes it's about keep your bullshit to yourself. You know what I'm saying? You keep your hatred to yourself and all that. I don't always need to know. You can smile at me at the grocery store and bag my shit, and I ain't got to hear your comments about what you think about society and so forth. It's a certain thing of like when we're out, how do you say it? Just having a certain amount of decency that I think that left from people when the former person was president or what have you. And I miss decency. You know what I mean? Now everybody's kind of being flagrant and just, you know, kind of saying anything that they think instead of thinking about how it affects other people. And it's like, you can have your thoughts, you know, all my thoughts aren't the greatest, but you know, when we act out on those kinds of things and we don't know how to live in society together, that's very dangerous. And I think that things have gotten worse since we've had somebody like that in there. Sometimes you need to hold that shit in.
Right. Now, I want to bring up something because I remember we talked, you know, about it on the show when it did come out. As we know, Ice Cube was trying to sit down and have a conversation with Trump and received a lot of backlash from our community. So I want to propose this question, and Vanessa, I'll start with you since you just wrapped up that one. Do you think at this point Ice Cube is owed an apology? Not necessarily, you know, for, you know, just meeting with him, but I think he was trying to say like, hey, let me at least see what I can get from this man in the event that he does become president again. So do you think we owe, or people owe him an apology?
I'm not sure. I'm not one of the ones that had a strong opinion on it one way or another. And I don't think an apology is necessary all the time when somebody makes a decision. It's a decision that he thought was smart, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. I can disagree with that, and I don't owe you an apology even if I was wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't know. It sounds a little, I don't know how to say this because it might sound a little fucked up, but it's kind of like when somebody abuse you and then they like, but he be paying my bills and he nice to me and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And it's like you trying to get these at least, you know, from somebody that's not. I don't know. I don't know about the, you know, how people say bargaining with the devil and you know, all those kinds of things. If we're going to use that, if I'm going to use that term, again, it's with my extensive political background, it is just, you know.
Well, Pierre, let me bring you in on this one. You know, I know we talked about it. Do you think people owe him an apology, you know, being that he was just trying to have a sit down to say, hey, in the event that this does become my president, let me get something for our community. Do you think that people owe him an apology?
Well, what people you're talking about? Because some people who didn't like Trump at all, you know, they don't like Trump at all. You still to this day, they don't like Trump. So they're not going to apologize to Ice Cube for sitting down with a person they hated from the rip, you know, and hated when he was in office for 4 years. So they're not going to apologize. Now, maybe some of those who weren't sure, was on the fence about him and so forth, like, why you do that? You know, blah, blah, blah. And now look back and say, you know what? He wasn't as bad. Now, you like Vanessa said, oh, apology? We grown folk here, man. You know what I'm saying? You know, niggas don't apologize to me in the comments and shit. And they say radical dumb stuff, you know what I'm saying? But I clap back, so I ain't apologizing. You ain't got to apologize in the comments with me. So with that being said, apology, no. I mean, but understanding is, I can respect that, a better understanding. A lot of times we as Black folks are very emotional. We just jump out without thinking, as they do when they leave comments on me sometimes, you know, or all of us, whatever. They don't emotionally, they emotional, they're not thinking about what was said. I'm okay with that, and they're going to stay about right now. Right now, they're going to get it and say, man, yeah, I'm tired of that clown. But I guess what? I just read up again with Comedy Hype, so I'm gonna be here for another year. So you got to deal with it for another year. I'm not going anywhere. So keep it in the comments because I'm gonna keep it on Comedy Hype News.
Now I want to I want to switch gears just a little bit. I know we kind of touched on Katt's special just a little bit, but I want to talk about Netflix special as a whole, right? We've been seeing a lot of specials come out, and recently Michael Blackson did make a comment on it, so I want to read it and kind of get your thoughts on it as well. So Michael Blackson tweeted, "After watching these trash ace stand-up specials on Netflix, maybe I should do one and show them that a special is supposed to be a special. The GOAT Eddie Murphy only did 2 specials in the 80s, and those specials are still funny till today. It's not about quantity, it's about quality." So I want to come to you first, Pierre. First one, what are your thoughts and reactions to that? And then just your thoughts overall of the specials that we have seen released over the last decade.
Yeah, I understand what he's saying. To pump out a special every year or 2 or 3 years is hard. A quality one. I mean, for those who really do stand up and who really work on jokes and nurture those jokes and make them, because if you notice, by the time you see a comic for the first time, you're seeing years of comedy for the first time. When you saw Def Comedy Jam, the first time you saw Bernie Mac and Steve Harvey, those were 15, 17-year-old vets in the game at the time you saw them. As Def Comedy Jam started coming around, you started putting everybody, people started doing comedy for 6 months and it started looking different. So to do a special every year or every other year, I mean, to me, you're not going to hit home runs every year. If you got 10 specials, you're not going to hit home runs every year. Now, the people of the power that may be don't care. They're like, this person's hot. That's all we will keep showing them. There are a lot of comedians that deserve specials that I know are hardcore rocking comedians, but they don't have the fan base or the knowledge or whatever, and people don't support them the way they should. So I agree with the fact that, quality over quantity. I don't want to see 10 specials from everybody. You know what I'm saying? And, everyone doesn't hit a home run every time. So with that being said, but who am I? You know what I'm saying? A person that wants a special that might be getting a special with Comedy Hype soon. Okay, we might do some special with that.
I'm excited for that one for sure, Pierre. I can't wait to be in the audience for that one for sure. Vanessa, I want to bring you in on this one to get your thoughts. One on Michael Blackson's tweets, of course, but then also your thoughts of stand-up specials over the last decade.
I thought that his shots was fired. I mean, these trash ass specials is what he said, I guess. So I'm not really, to each his own when it comes to what you like and, and so forth. But I do agree with what Pierre is and I guess what Mike is saying. I do like quality over quantity. You know what I'm saying? Big kudos to those that can pump them out. And especially if you can really get like 80% funny or something, you know what I mean? But as we know, like it is supposed to be special. It is an accumulation of your thoughts I'm sorry, it is an accumulation of your passions and thoughts and things that you have worked on over a period of time. And I miss the times when you know what I mean? People be like, oh, did you see someone so special? And then they just start spitting out the joke or as best that they can tell it. Or then you watch a special like 52 times. I still have these specials that I grew up with or that inspired me, or especially when you're a teenager and stuff like that, you start getting into your stuff. So I miss that kind of comedy. And I think that does come with not wanting to just put something out because it is going to make you money and because it is going to give you that constant visibility. But I really do appreciate a very well-written special. So I do feel him on specials are supposed to be special and maybe not call it a comedy special anymore and just say like, hey, here's another hour from me.
Gotcha. Well, I definitely appreciate the insight from both of you and thank you for shedding some light on that and calling and chiming in on this conversation. But you heard from us. Now we want to hear from you in the comments below. What are your thoughts on Katt Williams' joke about Joe Biden? For Comedy Hype News, I'm Symphony Thompson.
You already know where to put it at. Okay, in them comments.
You better say where.